We are here to chat about your brand new book. You Are So Dope, a self-help book, and it's out now, right?
Yes.
Also, welcome back to the show. It's been a year since...
It's been a minute. Yeah. Last time obviously in the studio.
You were our first guest on The Breakfast Show, like first ever as a duo together on The Breakfast Show. It was in like September, October times. I remember when you came in, everyone in the office was like, Ovie's coming in. Everyone was super excited. And it was great for us to chat to you as our first guest. And now a year later, we go again. How have you been?
I've been good. I think the whole lockdown, coronavirus period 2020, it's been an up and down, I think, for everyone. But for myself, to start off, it was a lot of uncertainty, I think, with work, with basketball, just with the world, not knowing what sort of was coming next was a little bit of a challenge. But like we've all done, we move, we've adjusted, and we keep on pushing forward.
And now you have a book out. You are an author. So it's You Are Dope, self-help book, right? Tell me a little bit about it.
So the whole idea about the book is to get people to start looking inwards. I think we live in a society and a culture today that we look for validation, we look for our strength, we look for our sense of fashion, we look for, our aspirations externally all the time. And I think when you're constantly looking for answers outside of who you are, you're never going to get something that is exactly tailored to who you are. You know what I'm saying? We're all very, very unique people. And the idea of this book is to get people to sort of get back on track and start to refocus on following their internal compass, as I call it during the book.
Okay, follow the internal compass. I like that.
Do you feel me?
What exactly does it mean to be dope? Because that's a word that you've used a lot.
I use dope all the time. So it was just very fitting when sort of I was thinking of a title. But to be dope is not one exact thing. I think to be dope is to unapologetically follow who you are and live this life, tailored to your own unique path. I think when you're doing that, you've reached what I like to call dopeness. You know what I mean? I think it's really striving for genuine fulfillment in life, which can only be achieved through going down your own unique path. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's always good doing things that seem like they are the keys, or that they seem like that's the place that you need to be at this point in your life. But if it doesn't, if it's not specific to you as an individual person, you're kind of missing it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think it's hard to define a word when it's so subjective for every different person.
Yeah,
it just is what it is for yourself. So it could be different for you, for me. Well, it will be different for you, for me, for anybody else. So yeah, I get it. But where did the idea come from? Why did you decide to write a book? Because I've seen you on Instagram and on social media. You're very spoken about what you've written about in general, being yourself, finding yourself, what makes you happy, finding your path. Why did you decide to put it in a book?
So this is an interesting story. So it'll be up to 2 years now. About 2 years ago, I have a black journal that I just jot stuff down in. I write down my goals, I write down lists, I write down to do things for the day, that type of book or whatnot. And one place in the book I wrote, it wouldn't be word for word, but I wrote something along the lines of, you're going to create a product or service that will make people feel better about themselves, and it'll reach thousands and thousands of people. Now, when I wrote that down, it wasn't something that I knew would manifest itself. It wouldn't come to life in necessarily a book form, but I knew that's something that I genuinely wanted to do some way. So now, probably about 6-7 months down the line or whatnot, I ended up applying for Love Island. I'm on Love Island, that goes how it goes, and I come out. And now, there's the opportunity to write a book. I've sort of been approached by book publishers, and my initial sort of reaction was, all right, well, no, I'm not gonna like. I'm not about to just write about myself. I'm not the center of the world. Like, you know, I haven't lived long enough to necessarily write just a memoir about myself. However, that's when it sort of dawned on me, and you know, I pitched back the idea to them about actually writing something to help people that wasn't necessarily about me, but more so about the reader, and something I think is of substance that I can give back to people who have been so supportive, and you know, have been wonderful towards me since I've come out. So everything just kind of, you know, just the ducks lined up, the universe sort of made it happen, and yeah.
It all made sense. Speaking of giving back, can you give us 2 tips on how to be more dope?
2 tips on how to be more dope. First tip I would give people is to make sure you cleanse your space, your energy around you. You know what I'm saying? That basically means be very wary of the friends that you have around you. Be very wary of, you know, who you let influence your subconscious. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you have people around you that are cynical or negative, they don't see the glass as half full, then it's much easier for someone to pull someone on the table down than it is for the person on the table to lift them up. Do you know what I'm saying? So basically means it can rub off on you, and you can start feeling that way. And then the second advice, or word of advice I would have, is to make sure you're spending enough time with yourself. And that means sort of sometimes switching off social media, switching off your phone, maybe let, you know, your loved ones or family members just know, like, all right, well, you know, this sort of time in the day, or on Sunday, for instance, if you really need to reach me and it's an emergency, cool, whatever. But otherwise, I really just wanted to spend time in my own space, in my own peaceful sort of zone, you know what I mean? To just reflect, to be grateful, to really take a step back and see the whole picture, you know what I mean? See all the things that you actually have to be grateful for, and just sort of rebalance yourself without too much external influence, you know, because as soon as you start, you go on, watch the news, or you're checking the blog sites and stuff, all of this information that's being fed towards you is subconsciously affecting how you see the lens in which you're seeing your day. Do you know what I mean? And the lens in which you see your life. So in order to try and stay balanced, I think it's very, 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 very important for you to kind of spend that time.
I think one silver lining that you could say that's come out of like things like lockdown is having to do that. So when we've all been inside, and you kind of have to, whether you live alone or whether you're family or friends, it's just, you can't do anything. You can't go out, you can't see your mates, you can't do X, Y, and Z. You kind of had to take that time just to reflect and just to rebalance and just to find purpose and see kind of what it was. So I do hear that tip greatly. I think it's a very good one. And when you said cleanse your space, I looked around my table and I just thought, oh, this needs to go and this needs to go.
No, it can be different things, but you know,
like, I was like, wow, Shayna, that's not good. I literally looked around and I was like, raw, okay, cool.
No, but it's just, you know, if you think about it, these are all things, and it's cool to joke about it, but they affect and they influence the way you think. Do you know what I'm saying? And unless you're able to, you know, be in sort of a pure space, it's very hard to have a peaceful frame of mind and having internal peace. The thing is, we use all of these external things as distractions from, you know what I mean, from stuff that we genuinely have to deal with. We use going to the club, we use listening to music, we use watching social media, movies, this, that. It's all distractions from being in our own company. Why don't we want to be in our own company?
Exactly. That is the key question. Why don't you want to be there? Answer that, you get there, and then but how is basketball going? You're in France now, right?
I am in France. France. Basketball's good. Basketball is good. I'm in Le Mans. So it's where they do like the 24-hour racing. I don't know how much you know about that. I didn't know about it before I came here.
No.
But, so yeah, they do like it's a race NASCAR. Well, I'm gonna sound so uninformed, but anyway, like it's a racing deal that they do here. It's pretty cool. But anyway, basketball is going good.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the coronavirus, we do testing every single week, and if there is any positive cases on either the teams that are supposed to play that week, then the game gets cancelled. So 3 of my games so far have been cancelled. We've played 2 games. So that is a little bit frustrating, but yeah, there's obviously clearly bigger issues out there, so I'm really not complaining.
As long as you're like safe and keeping well and everything.
Exactly.
I remember a few months ago, I heard about you trying to make the decision of whether to go back to basketball or kind of follow the typical Love Island influencer kind of lifestyle. Was that decision hard for you to make?
No, I no. It was a decision that, you know, for me, and it's weird, like I talk about it in the book, but I've always felt the most fulfilling moments in my life is when I've just gone with what feels like the right thing to do to me. A lot of people say, oh, well, you could have made this doing this, or you could have done this and that and the other. But I mean, you know, I love playing basketball at this point in my life. It's still teaching me lessons. It's taught me a lot of life lessons so far. And it's a privilege to be able to play, you know, and I've worked at it for a while. So, you know, I'm happy to be back to it, you know, the typical kind of Love Island part. Like, it's cool, you know, nothing against anyone who does that, but it's just not, it's not me really, so.
Yeah. Okay. So we are in October, of course, and it is Black History Month in the UK. A lot of, I'm sure you know, young people look up to you for advice and just in general everyday life. We wanted to know who you looked up to when you were growing up, or if there's anybody still now as the adult that you are.
Well, I looked up to, you know, not to be corny, but I looked up to my dad and my brother. Those 2 guys are.
That's
no, you know,
nice.
He looks like, no, but yeah, that's what I looked up. You know, I mean, I looked up to, you know, the men that were around me in my life, which you know, they play a key role in. I have played a key role in me becoming the man I am today. From a sports perspective, as an athlete, I always looked up to Ian Wright, Thierry Henry, Arsenal fan. I'm a big Arsenal fan. Looked up to those guys. But yeah. You know, looked up to my mum in a very different way. She's shown me what it means to be an amazing woman. Do you feel me? So yeah, like I've been pretty blessed, you know what I mean, to have a good unit close to me, and then obviously I looked up to people a little bit further away.
Amazing. Wow, Ovie, thank you for joining us again on The Breakfast Show. Been a pleasure catching up a whole year later. So yeah.
Is this an annual thing? I don't know. Yeah. What is...
We can go again in 2021.
We'll go again in 2021. Jeez,
yeah, we'll do it again. Hopefully you can come into the studio for a loud
exactly
in the country and X, Y, and Z. Yeah, we'll go again.